Srimali was standing on the dais. There was a stunned silence in the assembly. Even the sound of a needle dropping on the ground could have been heard. Kapali Baba waved his right hand and produced some mustard seeds. He closed his fist and began reciting some mantra. I asked the Aghori sitting by me which mantra it was. Trembling, he said that Baba was trying the Samharini Kritya and that it was sure to reduce Srimali ji along with the dais he was standing upon to ashes. It is not possible even for the greatest of tantrics and sadhakas to withstand it. At that moment, there was a deafening, thundering sound. I stuck my fingers in both the ears and saw that Kapali Baba was flushed with rage. The sound of mantra was coming from his mouth. He threw the mustard seeds enclosed in his clenched fist at Srimali and said, Here, suffer the consequences of your actions. Hundreds of eyes turned to him. I saw Srimali stagger and take 2 or 3 steps back. But the next moment, he regained his poise, took a few steps forward and again stood at the very spot where he had been standing earlier. I looked at Kapali Baba. Astonishment seemed to have extinguished the glow in his face. He had not anticipated an ordinary man to withstand Samharini Kritya. Perhaps Srimali knew how to counter it, and that is why he was able to make the Kritya ineffective. There was slight fear in Kapali Baba's eyes. Srimali continued to be calm. He challenged Kapali Baba again. He said, I respect your age, but you are not yet perfect in Siddhi and Sadhana. The power with which you exercised Kritya was extraordinary, and it was not easy to withstand it. But here I am, right in front of you. I shall give you another opportunity. Do not leave any wish unfulfilled. If you have more power, go ahead and use it. Ma Krupalu Bhairavi stood up and protested. Judgment has been given. Why should you give Kapali Baba another chance? Whatever he did was inhuman. The impact this Kritya has on its target is many times more than that of 1,000 Mont stone flying at the speed of 5,000 miles an hour. Srimali knows this, and yet out of his goodness he has offered another chance to Kapali Baba. I would like to add that if Kapali Baba loses, he will be bound to become Srimali ji's disciple, and if Srimali ji loses, he will have to be Baba's disciple. After this, the disciple will have to obey whatever orders he is given by the Guru. This is what the judgment in the tradition of sadhana means. Most of the tantrics supported Ma Krupalu Bhairavi and affirmed that whoever lost would have to become the disciple of the other. Kapali Baba looked slightly shaken, but perhaps he had several siddhis within his command, and that knowledge reassured him somewhat. Srimali said, The assembly has presented you here as my adversary. Since you have had your chance, I shall be quite justified in trying my power now. But I shall give you one more opportunity to try your deadliest power or sadhana on me. You will not get another opportunity. I will have mine then. I will take only one chance, and that will decide who is superior. Kapali Baba said something to the tantric sitting by his side, but it could not be heard. He stood up, pulled himself up, ripped open the flesh from his thigh, and pulled out a small pill. He placed the pill on his right palm and said, Srimali, this is your last opportunity. You have not been wise in provoking me. This time you are sure to die. Srimali ji stood on the dais unperturbed. Both his fists were clenched and probably he was muttering a mantra. Kapali Baba took his right palm close to his mouth. There was a white pill on the open palm. With his attention focused on the pill, he recited a mantra. It looked as if he had put in all his power this time. His body was erect and tense like the dry trunk of a tree, and his blood started flowing towards the pill. In a few moments, drops of blood trickled down from the back of his palm, but Baba continued his mantra. Suddenly he closed his fist tight and threw the pill at Srimali. I asked the tantrics me what experiment had Kapali Baba done this time. He was pale with horror. He said, "This is Vidvamsa Prayog. Under it is the working power of 52 Bhairavis. Combined with it is the power of 62 Yoginis. This experiment is the deadliest of all." Naturally, my eyes were fixed on Srimali ji. I think I saw him sit down on the dais for a second. But the next moment, he stood up on his feet again and opened his eyes. There was a wave of joy in the assembly. Trijata Agori ran to Srimali and lifted him up on his shoulder. He shrieked with joy, and putting down Srimali on his feet on the dais, he went back to his place. People were stunned. How can such an ordinary looking man be so extraordinary? Srimali ji undoubtedly was a great master. It was not possible to fathom the knowledge of the man who could challenge Kapali Baba and win.